Hi, my name is Shoemaker, and I'm a sophomore at the Gabelli School of Business studying finance. And these are the results from my 361 personality assessment interviews. In this assessment, we were asked to interview 2 people from our personal life, 2 people from our academic life, and 2 people from our professional life. For my personal life, I chose to interview with my dad, who I've known for a very long time, and my roommate, Andrew Friedman. My dad was a good choice to interview because he's known me for so long, and he's seen me in so many different aspects of my life. He's seen me grow and develop academically, spiritually, physically, and in terms of intelligence. Secondly, my roommate, Andrew, was a good choice to interview because he's not only my roommate, but he's also a classmate and a teammate here at Fordham. So he's seen me in a variety of different fields, and he knows where I'm strongest and where I'm weakest. Next, in my academic life, I chose to interview the sophomore dean for Gabelli School of Business, Hannah Fozzi. I chose to interview with her because I go to her for a lot of advice, and she can tell me, when I go to meet with her, what kind of things I communicate well and what I can improve on. Second person I chose to interview for my academic life was my old high school math teacher and football coach, PJ Pascal. I chose to interview him because he's really been a mentor in my life, and he can not only teach me, but also make good suggestions to me about how I can improve, and he's seen me, really develop over 4 years, which is a really good time frame, I think. Lastly, in my professional life, I chose to interview my former employer from my senior summer of high school, Rick Marabito. He was my boss at Advanced Painting Contractors Co. I chose to interview him because he's seen me work in a strenuous environment, and he knows how I respond to teamwork and working as a subordinate. And lastly, for my professional life, I chose to interview my uncle, Mark Shoemaker, because he's a high-level executive at Teledyne Company in Los Angeles, and he has a lot of experience in the finance world, which is what I want to go into, so I want to know how he thinks my communication skills might fit into that field. When I went in depth into my strengths in both my interviews and the DISC assessment, one thing that came up was that I've shown a lot of stability in my life. This is shown in both my adaptive and natural styles. One aspect of stability that I've really shown to my employers and in my academic life is patience, and I have a strong steadiness. This is shown when I worked as a painter, because I had to work at high levels, like on 3-story buildings, and I was expected to be able to work as a team at these levels and remain calm and do my work effectively. And this is one thing that my former employer really said I did well, was I was able to communicate in these high-stress situations. Secondly, when I interview for jobs, a lot of people have said that I'm a very calm interviewer, and I don't have a problem, speaking or getting my ideas across, and I'm very confident when I interview. Furthermore, my relaxed attitude sometimes can get mistaken for maybe being nonchalant, but that's not the case. I'm really just a very steady and consistent worker, and sometimes that can be mistaken for maybe a nonchalant attitude. And this was shown by some of my teachers in school, especially the ones I interviewed, said that I sometimes give off a nonchalant vibe, but I'm really working very hard in school. Another one of my strengths is my spontaneity. This was reflected when I interviewed with my roommate, Andrew Friedman. He said that when it comes to communicating, I'm very spontaneous and outgoing, and I can frequently think of new things to do or new things to talk about. And this is shown by my active involvement, within the Fordham University Rugby Club as a team leader and as the match secretary. And also, when I interviewed with my old football coach, he said that I was also very, good communicator on the field and, in my academic life as well. My dad has always said that I'm a very outgoing individual, and I've always, taken things, head on and tried to really attack them, whether it was becoming an Eagle Scout or becoming a leader on my high school rugby team or other things like that. I've always tried to be, at the head of the pack, both academically and as leadership.
One of my largest communication weaknesses is being cautious in regards to the adaptive style of the DISC profile. This was reflected by a lot of my employers and people I've known who said, when I work alone, I usually pay a lot of attention to detail and make sure to stay cautious, but when I'm around other people, sometimes I fail to do this and forget to do the little things, which is something I'd really like to work on in the future. One way that I work on this is when I in group settings or other things like that, I pay extra attention, put extra effort into making sure that I, dot every I and cross every T and make sure that I do all of that. Another weakness that I have is in regards to communication is maybe being neat or orderly. One thing that I could really improve on is trying to do that better and again pay more attention to detail. This really contrasts though. In regards to my natural style, I actually am very cautious and pay a lot of attention to detail, which is a really strange thing, and I really want to learn more in the future about why that I pay attention to detail when I work alone, but instead when I don't pay attention to detail when I work in large groups.